Welcome back to Skyline Scales. We are going to do another enclosure build today, and Kida joins us, our spider ball python, because this will be her enclosure. Now, if you guys weren't aware, back at the Renaissance Festival that we were a part of, we held a contest where you would write your favorite cage idea down on a piece of paper, and we would pick our favorite and do that as our next cage. We actually had 2 winners, one of which didn't write their name on the page, and they're the one we're doing today. So if you guys came up with the Jumanji idea, bravo to you. Write your name below because that was splendid and we ran with it. We went with the board game Jumanji because that is way better than video game Jumanji. Challenge me on that. Comment down below if you agree. But here's our simple sketch we just did on a sticky note to make it easy. But our general idea is we wanted the tiles of the game that your token would follow. We want the instructions to the game up on the walls. We want the ball that's in the center of the board game that will tell you what's going to attack you next. We also wanted pieces from Alan Parrish's home that got sucked back into the board game, because the whole idea with this is that we are now inside the board game after everything that has been sucked back in at the end of the game when Alan won. And of course you can't forget the fact that Jumanji is a jungle. All of it happens in the jungle, so of course we're bringing the jungle into our cage, including those crazy vines with the red flowers that were not that bad, and the big yellow flower that was wee. We even have a couple little surprises, like we're gonna have fun with the Jumanji globe, and we really want to include little details like the ending roll of the dice. Do you guys remember what that one was? We talk all the time about how you want to keep things cheap because the world is expensive, so we will help you guys learn how to keep snake keeping a little bit cheaper. The biggest note for that is to be creative. Look at what you already have and think about how you can use that. We did a rough guess. We will share in the comments the lists of the prices of everything we did, but we ended at about $30 to $50 that we spent on building this entire cage. And we looked at what it might cost to build new. To build new and to buy brand new products and all of this and the top grade and all of this, you were looking at almost $300, which is insane. The things that we used that were a lot cheaper is we used a Christmas ornament instead of a glowing orb. We used fairy lights. We used a pallet for all of our wood. We made our own substrate, which was a lot cheaper than buying brand new. First things first, you want to make a plan, measure out your wood, and then chop it up. A table saw is my favorite method. You can often ask hardware stores to help you cut the pieces together, and once they're cut, you can move on to cutting the next piece, which for us was cutting up the tile. Now, we used a pallet to save money on wood. To save money on the tile, you don't actually have to use tile. You can also just go to the dollar store and buy a chalkboard and paint it the color you want. But we had tiles around the house, so we thought, why not? Let's cut the tiles. Next, we put all the pieces together and we dremeled holes into the wood to be the spots on the dice so that we wouldn't lose track of them as we painted them. Once that's done, you're down to painting. We used a Christmas ornament to make our Jumanji ball and slapped it right on that wood. Next, we weathered our dice using green and brown paint and water. Just dab it on, then dab it with a rag, and it looks weathered in an instant, dries quickly, and then after that, you are down to cleaning your cage. Now that the cage is cleaned out, decorations are made, the next step we have is to put together all of our substrate. So we are going to use our own homemade substrate because the normal substrate is really expensive if you're going by active. And we'll start with our lightest weight material first, which is a nice big heaping of peat moss. Next, you want organic topsoil. Now there's a lot of debate around the organic topsoil. The biggest debate with this is organic what you need, which I like better safe than sorry? Or is it okay to have some fertilizers like a nitrate fertilizer, which may not be the best for your snake, but no one has actually officially decided which one is best and which one is not. And finally, you want to play sand. And I promise you guys this is play sand, not cat litter. The cat litter boxes just make really great storage for the leftover soil you don't use. It's probably where we're gonna put the rest of these. And now that our soil's mixed, sort of, we're gonna mix it a little bit more as we add it in to make sure we've got the right proportions of everything. We get to start setting up the cage, starting with the background. It's finished. You guys remember how I said I had that little surprise? Well, welcome to Jumanji. Now we can show you guys some of the fun details that we truly included in this game. See how many of them you can spot before we actually tell you what they are. But the most prominent are definitely right here. Our board game rules that look splendid, that announce the rules of the game. These are on the side of the board game when you first open it up in the movie and come with a perfect warning. We also have the Jumanji ball that's found in the middle of the board game that actually says Jumanji when you turn on the fairy lights inside. Then we also have the dice, which have been sucked back into the game, but they are weathered, worn, and even include the final roll that Alan made to win the game, a 2 and a 1. Then we have the tiles of the board game that you follow on your path. Hopefully you roll enough to actually make it to Jumanji. We have the watering hole, we've got flowers. The little red ones aren't that much of a concern, but watch out for the big yellow one. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. This cage turned out splendidly. Comment down below your favorite part of the Jumanji movie, and comment down below whether you like the board game Jumanji or the video game Jumanji better.